Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm going to talk to you about Geo, written by Kenya Wright. So, Geo is a BWWM book. Now, Geo is basically a character recovering from the death of his best friend. His best friend was his partner in business and a songwriter. They grew up together. His best friend had a troubling background, so it's like he knew he was going to die before the age of 30. So, he had a detailed will of what was left, what Geo was supposed to do with his money. Anyway, Gio is now, after a year of recovery, he wants to start writing again. He's working on the fourth album. So in order to get this album done, he needs a songwriter. So this is how Simone came into play. Now, Simone is a girl trying to make her name for herself. She's 25. She was in a band when she was about 20, and the lead singer was her ex-boyfriend or boyfriend. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly. But they had a disagreement and they just broke up. The band broke apart and nothing ever happened again. So now Simone is basically, she's been writing songs for a lot of people, but she's barely making ends meet. She lives in New York and she's like wondering why she's not getting out there. So she has a manager named Rue. Rue has been her manager for 5 years. So I'm thinking, when I first read this, I was like, okay, you're my manager for 5 years. I'm a songwriter. I'm a very good songwriter. And I'm still stuck in this little apartment in Brooklyn. Something's wrong, right? That's what anybody would think. Like, something is not right. Anyway, so Geo was her saving grace. So she wrote 3 songs that Geo liked, and he said, send them to me. I want them now. And immediately, Geo never met her before, don't know what she looks like, have no clue she's black, white, purple, or whatever. He just like captivated by her voice, by her lyrics, by everything. So he was just like contemplating whether he should bring her to where he was because he's scared that he might have sex with her. And I understand his fear because he's been shut off from the world for a year, and he used to be male whore out there, in the industry. They've been there, done that, and everything. So he was skeptical. Anyway, his manager called him and said, listen, snap out of it. You got to get her. So he eventually he got her. He hired her and tell her to come out there. So Rue in the background, Rue's like, I don't think you should go, or no, it's not that he shouldn't go. He said, you have this opportunity, but I told him that you'll go after the holidays. She said, no, I'll go now. He's like, why do you want to go now? She's like, because I want to, right? So I was like, that's kind of fishy. But anyway, maybe he thought she wanted to spend the holiday with somebody, but I thought that was a little bit controlling on his part. You know what I mean? Anyway, sorry guys, my phone's acting up. So while that was being said, now he was like, oh, you don't have to go and anything, but he's like, you know what, forget it, you're gonna go, I'll come a week out after you. Anyway, Rue showed up. When Rue showed up, before Rue showed up, Kenya got there. She went to Christmas Eve night and she was doing good. She's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go and everything. But unfortunately, she had an accident. So she had an accident and Gio thought something was wrong. He's like, it took her too long to get here. I'm 2 hours from the airport, but it's been like 4 hours and she's not here yet. So he's like, okay, fine. So he's like, send out a search party and everything. And the minute he said he was going to send out the search party and get ready to go look for her, he heard a boom. So the car hit a tree and she was like unconscious and everything. So he went to save her. He and his crew, they saved her and they brought her back to his mansion. While she was recovering, he let her sleep in his bed because, remember, he's already infatuated with her. And all this is going on. So she's recovering. Rue came like 3 days later. And Rue was like, oh, what's going on? So he's already protective of her. And I'm like, oh, maybe he's just scared that the industry's just going to suck her up. And Gio, being the man he is going to suck her up. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Why this fool showed his face? Yes, he's always questioning what's going on. Why are you doing this? Where did you sleep? Are you okay? It's like, they're valid questions, but the way they seem to be asked, something's not right. Anyway, he asked a question, she answered them. Turned out that he's been pushing like, oh, have you been in the studio? Have you been doing this? She said, no, I'm still recovering from the accident. I was unconscious. I had blood everywhere. Doctor said I need to rest. He just didn't like that answer. So he was like pushing, when you going to the studio? Gio was like, soon. So it's like Gio and him is having like this male, it's like this fight. I don't know. There's a proper terminology for it, but I don't know it. But they was like butting heads no matter what. Each of them want to like protect her from each other. Anyway, they went to the studio and she saw the studio. She loved the studio. She didn't sing or anything in it yet, but she loved it. They were playing a song and they got like all romantic and intimate. So they had sex that night, right? Which was okay. So Gio, being the person he is, knew something was wrong with Rue. He told her, but she wasn't trying to hear that. She think he's just being overprotective, big brother. Turned out this fool was just a hot mess. He's like, oh, don't worry, I got a surprise for you. We're taking a drive. This is the next day now. This fool took her a half an hour away from the mansion in the middle of nowhere to a dump, talking about, oh, I'm going to build a studio here and your apartment's going to be upstairs. She's like, what? Why? There's a studio at his house and I already have a room there. How long is it going to take you to get this together? Like, why? So he's trying to like separate her from Gio, right? It's just not working. Anyway, Gio just like, he knew something was wrong. So he said, okay, we're going to go away. So he took her away to this romantic dinner and had candlelight. And they had a room upstairs. And all this was going on while while Rue was at the house going nuts. Like he was like losing it. So I'm like, why are you losing it? She's just your songwriter. Why? You're her manager. Get over it. So he was upset. The next few days later, they had a talk, and he talked through text, and then he said, "Oh, you need to meet me now." So she went to this room. Why? Gio knew that something wasn't right with him, and he should have listened to his instinct, but he gave her the benefit of the doubt. Rue attacked her in the room. He was like, "Oh, you know I loved you. You know I wanted you, and all this stuff." And I'm like, "What in the world? Why? Like." You have a wife and a mistress. Like, you want your cake, eat it too with another ice cream on top. Like, dude, get over yourself. So, and she already knew that because both mistress and the wife came to her house to find out if they were just working together. You know what I mean? Like, get over yourself. Anyway, they heard screaming in the where Rue and Simone was, and he went there. He like beat the crap out of Rue, almost killed him, but he didn't. But anyway, they were recovering, and he got in jail, and she plead her case with the media and everything, and it turned out that they let him out and they got their life back together and everything was going good. They made the album and they got in a committed relationship and all that. So the story was good, and that's practically where it ended. And I love the book because it's like I love the whole music of it. I love the character, the chemistry, the plot. And I'm not sure if a lot of what Kenya wrote in the book is what the music industry is like, but if that's what it's like an eye opener, and it's shocking because there's some things that both Rue and Gio talked about in the book that I'm like, really? That's what the music industry is like? I don't want to be a part of it. Even, I'm not saying that I can sing, but like overall, it's just like, it's mind blowing. Anyway, besides the point, Kenya Wright, a very good book. I really love the book. I love the plot. I love the chemistry in it. I love the romance because Simone was so indebted in her work that she didn't have time to live. So all that 5 years that she's been working and writing writing for other people, she never really got to live. So those few weeks that she was with Gio was like the best week of her life, and I was so glad about that. Overall, this book, I gave it a two thumbs up. I love it. Kenya did a great job. You guys check it out. It's called Gio. Bye, guys.